then in half again, and then like in 4 pieces. Okay? Okay, now that we have all the tomatoes quarter, we're going to chop also, or to cut the peppers. And also here, Georgina's going to be helping me out peeling the cucumber and cutting the onions. What we're going to do with the peppers, that will be actually the same size as we did for the tomatoes. Okay, rough chop. We're going to reserve some of the pepper, okay, and as well as some of the other vegetables to use them as a garnish afterwards, once the gazpacho is already prepared. I'm going to show you actually for the peppers as well as the other ingredients that we need for the garnish. We're going to cut them actually like a medium dice. Medium dice is like medium squares like this. So they can be eatable actually. We can use them as a garnish afterwards. Okay, once we have all the ingredients prepared, we're going to put the onions, the cucumbers, the rough chopped tomatoes, and also the pepper. Something is missing here, right? So we have to add the bread. Don't forget about it. Actually, what does bread do to the gazpacho? The bread, it helps once we puree the gazpacho. What the bread does is kind of bind it together, so it's not too loose, so it gets like nice consistency. Gazpacho actually, it shouldn't be like too thick, okay, and it shouldn't be too runny, but it's like a cold soup, actually from the south of Spain. We're going to add the vinegar, okay, red wine vinegar, and also we're going to add the olive oil, okay. Try to use a nice quality olive oil, okay, because it's a very important step in the preparation of the gazpacho. Okay, the rest ingredient we have to put in here, it will be some tomato juice, okay. So we'll put the tomato juice in here, and at this particular time, we want to marinate this for like about 2 hours. The reason to marinate it actually is because we want to achieve the beautiful flavor of all the ingredients. So the olive oil and the vinegar, they're going to set up in there for a while, and they're going to, at the same time, absorbing the flavors from the different vegetables. Okay, once we have the gazpacho marinating for 2 hours, this one is ready. You can see how it looks. It's been soaking for a while, so you can see actually that the bread has been soaked with the liquids in here. Now, at this point, actually, we're going to put it into the blender. Make sure that you puree the gazpacho really fine. In the south of Spain, it gets to the point that Andalusians, they drink gazpacho. They don't eat gazpacho. Gazpacho is like a drink. And that's the way they like it, that's the way they love it. So let's go for the blending process now. Okay, it's a good idea to put a little amount first and then add the rest. Because otherwise, if we put too much of the mixture on the cup in here in the blender, the blade, it might not take all the mixture together. So once we blend it a little, we can put some more of the mixture. Okay, let's go back again. At this point, we're going to strain it. And carefully, we're going to push it with the ladle here, so we can press as much as we can to extract all the flavor from the vegetables. You can see the consistency of the gazpacho, okay? So let me do this. perfect. At this point, we are ready to serve the gazpacho. So just pour it into the bowl. Buen provecho. How does it look? Okay. So at this particular point, I'm going to prepare the recipe of the paella, which is the Spanish traditional national dish. So we have the short grain rice, Spanish rice. We have the onions here, the carrots, green pepper, green peas, red pepper, chorizo, or the Spanish sausage. Also we have lemons for the decoration, some garlic. Also we have the little clams. We have the chicken. We have the beef, which we can use pork or beef. Also we have the mussels, and we have the prawns. As you can see, heads on and no peel. Also we want to have the olive oil, a little tomato sauce, and the ingredients for the stock. So at this point, we're going to start pouring the chicken stock into the pot. We're going to add also some of the tomato sauce. And we're going to let it infuse for a few minutes. The oil is smoking a little, and we'll start with the meat. Okay, chorizo. Gonna add the chicken. We're going to add the meat. Okay. And at this moment, we're going to saute a little the meat till the point in which we can brown the meat a little, and we extract the flavor also. Actually, you can see that chorizo is giving us also that beautiful kind of paprika color, a little reddish color, okay? So that's part of the paella also. Paella needs to have chorizo, it's part of it. We're going to start adding the vegetables. Then we can start with the carrots. Green pepper. The red pepper. And the onions. Now keep sauteing this for a while. Let's go back to check how the stock is doing. At this point, I'm going to add a little amount of the saffron, a pinch of saffron. Now let's see how we're doing here with the paella. As you can see, at this point, all the meats have been kind of sauteed. The vegetables, they've been also sauteed. So at this particular point, I'm ready to add the rice. Okay. We're going to toss the rice for like a couple of minutes. So combine it with the meat in here. Also, we want to check how the stock is doing. Okay, I can tell myself that this is the nice color that I can use for the paella. So you just can add a little pinch of the saffron, okay? Now the saffron is gonna go to the paella pan, so we don't have to strain it. So at this point, we have the rice already tossed, and we're going to add gently the stock. Okay. At this point, you just want to stir a little to combine the stock properly with the rest of the ingredients. Now, something that you need to keep in mind is that paella doesn't need to be stirred continuously. Once we combine all the ingredients, just let it simmer slowly, okay? So we might want to lower the temperature in here a little. Okay. Okay, what is the reason of not stirring the rice? If we stir the rice, this particular rice actually is very starchy. It's a short grain rice, very starchy, and if we stir it like really too much, we're gonna end up with a mashed rice in here. Okay, so once it comes to a slow simmer in there, let it cook, don't touch it. Okay, in the meantime, when I'm cooking my paella, I need to roast some peppers. Those peppers, they will be actually the garnish that they will go on top of the paella. So for that purpose, we can grill the peppers in here. Now, if you don't have this at home, obviously, don't think that you cannot do it. The other way that you can do it also, you can put it in the oven. Now, something that I want you to tell you about the mussels and the clams, which is very important, we have to determine if the seafood is good or not, if the mussels, the clams, they are good or not. Now, we can see if they are open, one may be that the clam is dead, therefore we cannot use it, or you can see really close to it. If I touch it and it closes, this one was alive. So it closed, okay? That means that they're alive. Okay, I guess they don't like my company here. So they close up, we know that they are alive. Okay? Same thing with the mussels. Okay? Take the mussels, touch them gently, and if we see that they close up, same thing. Okay? Now, as you can see on the prawns, or the langostinos, that we can call it in Spain, we use the whole prawn. You can see that they are heads on, skin on, everything on. I know many people, they might not feel comfortable with that, but that's the way we like it. So let's see how we're doing over here. And check the pepper. Okay. So you can see they're kind of roasting. We can say that because they're turning black. Okay. And at the same time, we can touch them gently and they're getting soft. Okay. So at that point, we're going to be like wanting to turn them a little because we want them to be cooked all over in the same way. Okay. So let that cook for a while. Well, so now that the paella has been cooking for about 8 minutes, we are ready to put the peas and the rest of the seafood. So just put the peas on top nicely. Okay. So we can show the beautiful green color in here. Then we're going to have to put the clams, okay, in a nice decorative way. So we can alternate clams and mussels, clams and mussels. Okay, now if we keep like cooking for another 5 minutes, that will be enough time for the clams and the mussels to be open, and also for the prawns to be cooked. We cannot put the seafood too way in advance, otherwise it will be too dry and it will not taste that good. So let's stick the prawns nicely. Beautiful. Okay. So at this point, let it cook for another 5 minutes. Okay. Let's check the peppers, how they're doing now. I can tell this one is ready. So you're going to place it in the bowl. We're going to wrap them now with a little plastic wrap. So what we're doing there, we create like a kind of a steam effect. So therefore, it will be easier for the peppers to be peeled. Okay, now that the red peppers have been steaming for a while, we can see that they're going to be much easier to be peeled. So just just gently get the stem off and be careful with the juices inside. You can see all the juices coming out. And then we are ready to peel them. We just want to cut them in half, okay? Get rid of the seeds, or possible seeds remaining in here. And then we're going to start peeling the peppers gently, okay? You can see it comes right off pretty easy, okay? Now, it's best to do when they're still hot, okay? So don't let the peppers cool down too much, otherwise it will be tougher to get rid of the skin. Okay? Okay, so now that the paella is cooked, the final process will be like resting for about 3 to 4 minutes. Therefore, we're going to cover it with a rag or a towel in here. This will be actually a traditional way. It's not such a thing as, paella lid. So we use this. And then we're going to start like cutting the peppers in strips. That this will be the final touch for the paella. Okay. So at this point, we rest the paella for like 5 minutes, and this is the paella ready in here. You can see. Beautiful. We're going to put the peppers on top. Few strips of peppers. Very informal in here. Okay. Actually, as you can see, the colors in here, they remain the Spanish flag, which is national dish, as I said before. Red and yellow. That's the idea. Okay. Actually, at this point, we're going to insert a few of the lemons that we prepare here. Okay. Try to get the most beautiful ones. One more here. We are ready to present it, but we need to put like a couple of napkins here, which will be a very traditional way to serve the paella. Actually, I want you to understand that the paella pan goes straight to the table, doesn't go into a dish or a plate. That's the way it's presented, and I think it looks beautiful the way it is. And at this point, beautiful paella and buen provecho.